President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi heads to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, on Thursday to participate in the presidential segment of 28th session of the Conference of States parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP27. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said the president's participation in the summit comes in response to an invitation of UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed in his country's capacity as the current president of the conference. According to the spokesman, the president will review Egypt's efforts during its last year's presidency of COP27, which was held in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh summit in November 2022. Such efforts, the spokesman added, had focused on issues of concern to developed countries and general African countries in particular, especially with regard to strengthening efforts to advance international climate action, as well as stressing the need to develop countries to adhere to the commitments within the framework of the Paris Climate Change Agreement. The head of state scheduled in Dubai includes holding discussions with a number of heads of state and governments. Those meetings are expected to tackle means of enhancing the bilateral cooperation frameworks, as well as consulting and exchanging views and visions on various regional and international issues. And Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry handed over the presidency of COP28 to UAE Arab Emirates on Thursday. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid said Minister Shoukry had delivered Egypt's speech during the inaugural session. Delegates from nearly 200 countries convened for COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai, where conference host the UAE hopes to sell the vision of a low-carbon future that includes not shuns fossil fuels. And UN's COP28 Climate Conference formally launched on Thursday a loss and damage fund long sought by vulnerable nations devastated by natural disasters linked to global warming. The two-week long negotiations in a vast exhibition venue in Dubai come at a pivotal moment, with emissions still climbing and UN saying this year is likely to be the hottest in human history.
The 28th session of the Conference of the States Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP28, formally launched a Loss and Damage Fund on Thursday. The announcement came as the Emirati host of the COP28 talks declared that fossil fuels must be part of any climate deal negotiated over the next 2 weeks. The WAE's COP28 President Sultan Al Jaber told delegates that they had delivered history today, adding that his country was committing $100 million to the fund, which is long sought by vulnerable nations devastated by natural disasters linked to global warming. Germany also pledged $100 million. Jaber said it was the first time a decision had been adopted on day one of any COP, and the speed in which they had done so was also unique, phenomenal and historic, adding that this was evidence that they can deliver, adding that COP28 could and would deliver. He urged the participating countries to find common ground in policies to meet global climate goals, noting that many national oil companies had adopted net zero targets for 2015. For his part, UAE Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed congratulated all parties on the historical adoption of this fund for climate impact response and announced the UAE commitment of $100 million as its contribution. After years of dragging their feet on the issue, wealthy nations backed the fund in the landmark agreement at the COP27 summit in Sharm el-Sheikh last year. Addressing the conference, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stressed that the leaders should aim for a complete phase-out of fossil fuels, a proposal opposed by some powerful nations that has docked past negotiations. With the UN climate negotiations expected to feature a slowdown on the future of fossil fuels, UN's former climate chief, Christina Figueres, said she was giving up hope that the fossil fuel firms will be part of the solution to warming. Figueres expressed concern over reports the UAE planned to use its role as host to strike oil and gas deals, and said she had previously championed the idea that the world's polluting coal, oil and gas industry should sit at the table. The UAE hopes to march an agreement on the tripling of renewable energy and doubling the annual rate of energy efficiency improvements by 2030. The talks in Dubai come at a pivotal moment for the planet, with emissions still rising and the UN declaring 2023 on track to become the hottest year in human history.
On the sidelines of the COP28 in Dubai, Nile TV's correspondent Hani Farag held the following interview with Samia Pima, the Executive Director, Hadova and Green Samia Delegate, Tanzania.
Yeah, as you know, we are now at COP28, but at Egypt we have much progress, especially on loss and damage, because loss and damage fund, because most of African countries or Africans, we have been affected by impact of climate change. So we are so proud, and we hope in this COP28 the agenda of loss and damage fund will be more in a systematic manner, in a plan and framework we'll get, but yes. This agenda started at COP27. So we are so proud of the decision made at COP27 at yes. Egypt, and yes. we hope now at COP28 we will have more yes. More successful COP, as the president of COP28 opening today said.
Yes. So we are talking about hopes, but also about challenges. Your mission. What about your mission today?
Okay.
In this field of climate change.
Okay, our mission today is we have to raise voice about sustainable agriculture. As you know, Tanzania, we have more progress in agriculture, and we thank our president and the Ministerial for Agriculture. And as youth, we came here to support the smart agriculture. So we are here today and attending a session on sharing experience session. As you know, today it is opening, so from tomorrow we have more session. But on this opening, we share experience about the yes. sustainable agriculture as well as energy transition.
Thanks a lot for this interview.
Thank you.
Humanitarian and aid trucks continue to enter Gaza Strip through Rafah border crossing, including 7 fuel trucks. Meanwhile, 5 injured Palestinians arrive in Egypt. Northern Sinai governor has earlier said that since the beginning of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, Al Arish airport has received 222 planes from 54 countries carrying medical aid. A total of 1,814 aid trucks entered the Palestinian side of the Rafah land, the border crossing.